It's time to put the good in your morning. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. And today, Missouri becomes the latest state to open up the COVID vaccine to all adults. We're going to tell you about some upcoming vaccination clinics.
Friday morning starting out absolutely beautiful, but we've got thunderstorm activity for tonight and into the weekend. We'll have the latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And what you need to know about an upcoming craft fair at NEO. The KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 starts now. Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. We start with some breaking news out of the UK. Buckingham Palace announced this morning that Prince Philip, the husband of Queen Elizabeth II, has died at the age of 99. Now, a cause of death has not been released yet. Last month, Prince Philip was hospitalized with an infection. We'll have the latest on his story and death as it becomes available. Beginning today, all adults in the 4 states are eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Missouri becomes the latest state to expand eligibility to anyone 16 and older who did not already qualify for the vaccine. Phase 3 comes just 12 days after the state moves into Phase 2. Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas expanded eligibility to ages 16 and up last week. In Joplin, Freeman Health System accepts applications for its first Phase 3 vaccine clinic. One takes place today from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. You will need to pre-register for this one by phone or online to set up an appointment. And an upcoming vaccine clinic will administer the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine in Pittsburgh. It's set for next Tuesday at the Meadowbrook Mall from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is approved for use in people ages 18 and older. For the latest news and resources related to the COVID-19 vaccine, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com/vaccine. And on that same page, you'll find a form that you can fill out. Just send us your questions about COVID-19 and vaccine distribution. Again, that's at KOAMnewsnow.com/vaccine. Missouri Senate votes to ban so-called vaccine passports in the state. The Missouri bill would ban any requirements that travelers show proof of vaccination in order to fly, get a taxi, or use public transportation. The bill now goes to the House for consideration. A new document showed the Kansas Senate Majority Leader had a blood alcohol level twice the legal limit when he was arrested last month. Officers arrested Senator Gene Solentrop in March. Court documents allege the state senator's blood alcohol level was 0.17, more than twice the legal limit. It also says he drove the wrong way on the expressway, ran from police, and had and according to the affidavit, Solentrop called an officer a donut boy and told the officer he believed he could take him because he played sports competitively in high school. Senate President Ty Masterson and other legislative leaders say they need time to review the case. Until then, they're declining to comment. Most of Missouri saw low voter turnout in Tuesday's municipal elections, but one southwest Missouri town took it to a new low. Not a single one of La Russell's 70 residents voted. Jasper County Clerk Charlie Davis says he checked multiple times to confirm no ballots were cast. People living in La Russell have to travel 7 miles to nearby Sarcoxie to cast their vote. The main issue on the ballot was whether La Russell should annex itself into the Avila Fire Protection District. Avila fire officials say they'll provide fire protection for La Russell until the issue can be put on a future ballot. Watered Gardens invited Joplin city leaders to a forum discussing the problem of homelessness and ways to solve it. It's a problem that Watered Gardens executive director says does not have a simple solution. City manager says they plan to take what they've learned and bring organizations together to try to tackle the problem.
Understanding that there's a need for collaboration, especially in the realm of charity, and knowing what charity is needed and when and by whom, and not giving indiscriminately. And so the collaboration is going to make us stronger.
City has scheduled a special meeting for Monday evening when they plan to further discuss homelessness. Joplin's Children's Center has a new executive director. If you've been around for a while, you probably recognize him. That's former Joplin Police Chief Matt Stewart. He'll replace current director Vicki Dudley on May 3rd. Stewart was most recently the victim advocate for the Newton County Prosecutor's Office. A Carl Junction man is $100,000 richer. Joseph Gonzalez matched 4 of 5 white ball numbers as well as the Powerball from the November 2020 drawing, but he just recently turned it in. Gonzalez bought his winning ticket at the Casey's on Briarbrook in Carl Junction. Wow. Well, students from all over the area yesterday headed to NEO A&M in Miami for the 69th annual Aggie Days. That's an agricultural contest with a variety of events from speech to livestock judging. Hundreds of students participated. The livestock judging contest will take place today. Take me back to my route.
The hard part's getting it carved out around.
Seneca, Missouri School District did another reading challenge for students. This time, students were tasked with reading Jean Craighead George's My Side of the Mountain with their families. With everyone finished reading, the school hosted a family fun night themed around the survival story.
I see them every day, and I interact with them every day, but I love seeing them interact with their parents and trying to read their map of where to go next with their parents, and then making connections and with their parents and showing them, oh, I remember this part of the book, or this was cool in the book, and then they're doing it themselves.
Students in the district also recently read Mr. Popper's Penguins. A Maine couple turns the love of their state into a massive treasure hunt with a $20,000 prize. Kurt and Kelly Stokes of Newcastle love New England State. They love New England State. Excuse me. So as a motivator to go out and explore, they've hidden $20,000 somewhere within the state lines. Now it's in collaboration with Dorigio Treasures, and to get started, you have to buy a deck of playing cards from that company. The cards contain the clues to get you on your way to the treasure. Some of the proceeds benefit the Maine Cancer Foundation. How cool is that?
That is awesome.
Michael, let's go on a treasure hunt in Maine.
Yeah, that's tremendous. We kind of got a Friday morning treasure on our hands. Not of any monetary value, but it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. And the nice thing is, coming off of yesterday, our winds right now in between, 5-15 miles per hour, so that's tremendous. We're not fighting that west 40-mile-an-hour gusts that we had yesterday. And Skywatch Storm Tracker remains clear. We take off the sweeping radar, and that's just being a little finicky. You can tell even the cloud cover ranges doesn't even make its way into Tulsa as of yet. Gorgeous outside of Television City, where our temperatures right now range in the mid-50s. And we're seeing a whole bunch of anywhere from mid-40s to mid-50s right now. This puts us about 7-8 degrees warmer than what we had yesterday at this point in time, as the cold front runs right through the middle of the 4 states, beginning to recede up to the northwest a little bit. And so our temperatures will be more on par with what they're seeing down in DFW and Atlanta compared to the last couple of days where we were with Minneapolis and Grand Forks. They even had some warmer temperatures than us here earlier this week. So take advantage of the morning and early afternoon, because once we get to about 2-3 o'clock, here we go. And once it begins, takes us through the evening hours for the commute, pushes off to the east, and still sticks around into early Saturday morning. It's going to be wet and chilly on Saturday. Best thing to do, I'd say, if you have outdoor plans, capitalize on Sunday.
Up next, housing for 4 state heroes.
I'm standing in front of the future location of a $7.3 million affordable housing complex in Joplin that looks to focus on local veterans with special needs. And it's opening sooner than you might think. Details are coming up.
And a life-saving surgery. We'll tell you about the first ever lung transplant on a COVID patient. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Doctors in Japan performed the first successful lung tissue transplant to a patient with COVID-19. Surgeons at Kyoto University Hospital say the operation was a success, removing lung tissue from a living person to a person with the virus. The hospital says this is the world's first lung transplant on a person with a COVID-19 lung problem. The surgeon in charge of the operation says this new treatment option will give hope to patients. Senator Roy Blunt visited Joplin yesterday, meeting with frontline workers at Mercy Hospital. He spoke with hospital officials about vaccine efforts and the impact the pandemic has had on mental and behavioral health. He spoke to us about the importance of receiving a vaccine.
Because we didn't watch those original hundreds of thousands of people in the test for 3 years. We'll be learning those things along the way, but we do know the vaccines are good now. We do know that the 3 approved vaccines, 2 of which take 2 shots and one is a 1-shot vaccine, keep people out of the hospital.
Senator Blunt also visited Springfield. Joplin kindergartners are riding in style. Stealth Creative bought Strider bikes for the kids at McKinley Elementary. The bikes, which have no pedals and help teach kids balance, will be used in PE classes.
Essentially, it's an ulterior method to learning how to ride a bike the traditional way. Most people are used to using training wheels, and then you take them off and you let the kids go. With these bikes, you stride, and in theory, once you get used to striding, you can balance, and then we add the actual pedals, and then the kids can take off.
This is the first year the bikes will be used in the PE curriculum. Louis Vuitton introduces a new handbag that, well, it looks like an airplane. The French fashion house is bringing back the flying feel to stores in its new airplane bag. The price is a little sky high, too, at $39,000. Photos show the passenger jet body, engines, handle, and carrying strap done to a print-to-look-on fabric. Okay, one poster did some comparison shopping with a real plane, saying they could buy a 1968 Cessna 150 for almost $7,000 less than this bag. I couldn't fit my planner in there. I would have an issue with that. I wonder if it has different compartments though on the sides, or if those are just for visual effect. I don't know.
We haven't picked up any contrails yet outside the SkyCam. You know, usually
Nice transition.
on a day like this, we get a little airplane action headed over. It's 54 degrees, so it's absolutely delightful outside, and we'll be able to avoid any wind advisories, red flag warnings, anything like that, because just coming in from the south right now, it's 7 miles per hour, and our humidity, that's not too bad at all, sitting at 62%. Skywatch Storm Tracker clean throughout the 4 states. Let's go ahead and remove the cloud cover here, and we can kind of take a larger look at the Midwest. Everything's staying up to the north of us to wrap up the work week and morning. But I tell you what, here's what we'll concentrate on is what's going to develop down here. That humidity we were talking about, that's going to bring us some Gulf moisture. Those thunderstorms, they want to develop right along that line, kind of right on the state line for each one of it. Now, that being said, and of course, that also means a little bit warmer than what we had yesterday. Wasn't too bad by any means. You know, we had some high 60s and whatnot, but we'll see 70s easily. We'll maybe even throw up some 80s by the time today's said and done. Just out of curiosity, we topped out at 72 yesterday at Joplin Regional Airport. Not bad at all. But let's talk about the important things that develop for this afternoon and evening. So here we go. Rolling right along the state lines like we were talking about. That's where they generate. Now we're kind of riding I-44 in a southwest to northeast kind of form, and that's around 6 p.m. But now watch this thing go vertical north-south. And so it's really on that leading edge right there. Right. Yeah, that's where we see not only the heavy rain, but also high winds and the possibility of hail as this thing lasts all the way into Saturday. And so that's why when we look at the severe thunderstorm risk map, we do see portions of the 4 states not only in the elevated, but also the low category. And it's not going to be one of those that dies out anytime soon. Saturday, cool, rainy, more so showers than anything severe. Take your weekend plans, move them to Sunday. Sunny skies and 70. Be right back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Coming up on April the 10th, we have the 8th annual NEO Annual Craft Fair. Now, we're going to tell you about a great cause that this is for, and we're fortunate enough this morning to be joined by Keely Adams. Keely is the Testing and Advising Coordinator and the Director of the Honors Program at NEO. Keely, I want to thank you so much for your time this morning, because it's very interesting the role that you've played in this and the importance that it has, not only for the college, but also the community. First off, The elevator speech, what do you tell people about the craft fair and why it's important?
The main thing that the annual craft fair accomplishes, other than having people from all over the 4 states come in and share all of the things that they've made and created, is that all of the funds from the annual craft fair, everything that we raise, whether that's through our vendor fees or donations on the day of, it all goes to directly support NEO students. It's put on by a group called NEO Women and Friends, which was established about a decade or so ago. And since establishing, they have created scholarships on campus. They put forth funding to build an outdoor classroom, which is beautiful. It's right outside of Shipley Hall here on campus. There's a lot of nice landscaping. It's a nice place to sit and enjoy and spend time with students. And they also now help other student organizations and resources on campus. We have Peggy's Closet, which is a business and professional attire closet. It's a room here we have on campus, and it's full of donated clothes that help students who may need something for an interview if they don't have professional dress, or if they're starting a new job and need to start building their professional wardrobe.
I think it's really interesting that this is the 8th year that this has continued on, and so nice that you're able to bring it back after obviously having to take last year off. What does it say about the sustainability and the importance of this, and the fact that this is almost now a decade old, and the importance to it for the college and the community?
I think it really shows how eager people are to serve our students. You know, they come and they enjoy being here, but the end goal being this is going to go directly back to our students. We did have to cancel last year, unfortunately. We are coming back this year on a slightly smaller scale, but people were very anxious to get back on board and rejoin us. We have very many returning vendors and also new vendors that we're going to be excited to join us on Saturday. So I think it really shows the support that we have from the surrounding community here at NEO.
Keely, you say scaled back. You have 38 vendors coming out. You have 38 vendors. I mean, let's put it this way. If that's your definition of scaled back, this is rather impressive. Keely, I tell you what, before we get out of here, give me the specifics as far as where I can find you, where I can find the craft fair, and our times.
So the easiest way to get in contact with us is actually on our Facebook page. You can find us at NEO Craft Fair. Right now, we are highlighting all of our vendors. So each day, we are posting different vendors and what they are selling, what they've created. So that has our contact information on it as well. Again, the event is this Saturday, April 10th. It's from 10 to 3, and most importantly, admission is free. So we invite everyone to come in, take your time shopping. I do want to note that it is on NEO's campus. It's in our Student Activity Center. So we are following their COVID safe protocol, and we are requiring masks, and we've made sure to take measures to accommodate for social distancing.
Keely, you beat me to the punch on all those details. You are absolutely phenomenal for joining us. I want to thank you for your time. Keely Adams, she is the director of the honors program at NEO A&M, and now in charge of speaking for the NEO Craft Fair, which once again I want to reiterate goes to scholarships and resources at the college. Keely, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for all you do for the 4 states.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
It's time to honor today's 4-state hero. More than $7 million project will provide a more affordable housing in Joplin. The O'Reilly Development Company has partnered with the Economic Security Corporation of the Southwest area to bring a 40-unit complex to town. It'll focus on helping local veterans with special needs. KOAM's Mike Mahoney has details and reaction from Joplin's veteran community.
Work is underway on the Forest Park North Apartments in Joplin. This $7.3 million 40-unit apartment complex looks to provide affordable housing to both special needs veterans and individuals earning 50% of the median area income or below.
It's a great opportunity to help people who can actually use some additional help or have actually incomes that just don't quite get it there.
The new complex is being developed by the O'Reilly Development Company in partnership with the Economic Security Corporation of the Southwest area, who's no stranger to providing affordable housing to 4-state veterans. They own the Joplin Bungalows, which has been offering affordable homes to local vets for about a year now, and say the need for such housing dramatically increased after the Joplin tornado.
From Maiden Lane over to Main Street are a lot of more affordable older homes built in the 1930s and the 40s. So they were very affordable, but they were gone. I mean, literally, you just could see foundations left.
ESC CEO John Joynes says the Forest Park North apartment should open in early January of next year. And that's music to the ears of Joplin VFW Post 534 Commander Bruce Redden.
We help quite a few veterans throughout the year with that. And sometimes we're strapped about how we can help them. This is going to help us immensely to help them.
In Joplin, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
The Economic Security Corporation is not yet accepting applications for the Forest Park North apartments, but says people should keep an eye on their Facebook page and website for an upcoming announcement. We put links to those in this story on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, another half hour of news and weather is just ahead. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, look at the dangers of buying a COVID vaccine on the dark web. And Pitt State Track and Field racks up conference and national awards. That story in a little bit. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
My friends, we're living.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. Let's take a look at today's top stories. We've got breaking news out of the UK this morning. Buckingham Palace announced that Prince Philip, the husband of Queen Elizabeth II, has died at the age of 99. Cause of death has not been released. Last month, Prince Philip was hospitalized for more than a month with an infection. We'll have the latest on the story as it becomes available. Well, starting today, all adults in Missouri are eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Anyone ages 16 and above who did not already qualify for the vaccine can get their shot today as the state of Missouri moves into phase 3. Phase 3 comes just 12 days after the state moved into phase 2. Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas expanded eligibility to ages 16 and up last week. In Joplin, Freeman Health System is accepting applications for its first phase 3 vaccine clinic, and one is taking place today from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. You will need to register by phone or online to set up an appointment. And an upcoming vaccine clinic will administer the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine in Pittsburgh. This one is set for next Tuesday at the Meadowbrook Mall from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is approved for use in people ages 18 and older. For the latest news and resources related to the COVID-19 vaccine, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com/vaccine. On that same page, you'll find a form that you can fill out to send us your questions about COVID-19 and vaccine distribution. Again, that's at KOAMnewsnow.com/vaccine. Missouri Senate votes to ban so-called vaccine passports in the state. The Missouri bill would ban any requirements that travelers show proof of vaccination in order to fly, to get a taxi, or use public transportation. The bill now goes to the House for consideration. Most of Missouri saw low voter turnout in Tuesday's municipal elections, but one southwest Missouri town took it to a new low. Not a single one of La Russell's 70 residents voted. Jasper County Clerk Charlie Davis says he checked multiple times to confirm no ballots were cast. People living in La Russell have to travel 7 miles to nearby Sarcoxie to cast their vote. The main issue on the ballot was whether La Russell should annex itself into the Avila Fire Protection District. Avila fire officials say they will provide fire protection for La Russell until the issue can be put on a future ballot. The island of St. Vincent is on red alert as emergency officials warn this volcano could erupt at any time now. Authorities are ordering some 7,000 people to evacuate. Multiple cruise ships are on the way to St. Vincent to help get people off the island.
Place where they go. Okay, I don't know how common this is for them.
I bet they're as close to the shore as they can be right now.
No, I meant like if you get evacuated. I wonder where they take them.
I'm not sure.
Oh. All right, we've got a beautiful, beautiful Friday start outside of Television City. There's a live look. We find ourselves 34 minutes past the top of the hour, 54 degrees. With just a little south wind, nothing like what we had yesterday. The sweeping radar, that's just dropping in a little residual right there. All the cloud cover staying off to our southwest as our temperatures are already pressing up into the 50s. Look at that jump they had down south right there in DFW and Atlanta and New Orleans. My goodness, they warmed up fast. We're headed that way though. We've been seeing Iola that's been consistently been our low spot, already make it up just about into the mid-40s. And we're throwing up a fair share of mid-50s as well, 54 in Monette and Carthage. And let's roll 46 right now in Miami. Nothing like what it was yesterday when it was coming in at 40 miles an hour out of the west. We'll just roll about 10 to 15 miles per hour today out of the south. Let's talk about the important things that develop for the afternoon hours into the evening. We're going to see thunderstorm activity that's going to arrive, say, about 2, 3 o'clock, and then it will pick up in earnest the later at night we get. You know, we are just kind of hanging out now, just in time for the drive home. There we go. That's going to be some heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. And then as it goes vertical, that increases our risk of high wind and hail all through Friday night and into Saturday morning. Now Saturday, it becomes more shower activity than it does anything severe, but it's also very cool. Saturday is only going to be in the 60s. Sunday, that's the day that you want to capitalize upon. A whole lot of sunshine and back up into the 70s before more thunderstorms appear next week. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll. Now that we're seeing more people return to the office full-time, asking during this time where things were extremely different, if you now prefer working from home, going back to the office, or maybe a little of both in a hybrid schedule. Michelle Mize says working from home, Michelle says a whole lot less stressful. Julia Stone says one should not make an automatic assumption that just because a person is working from home that they are slacking and wasting company time. I've seen plenty of slacking and time wasting from people who sit in the cubicle most of the day. Melissa Kinney prefers work and home being in separate places. And Nadine Mahan says, I've worked in all three settings. While I completely understand the need to be in the office when issues arrive and need dealt with immediately by multiple people at the same time, those types of issues are not easily dealt with over the phone or conference calls. I also understand the need to be away from the office setting. I've gotten more tasks completely done in a more efficient time frame at home because I had less interruptions. Thank you for that, Nadine. I'm breaking that down on both surfaces. Right now, 48% of you say full-time at the office is where you'd rather be on our Insta poll. Tanya?
All right. Some people don't get a choice. They go where they're told. The Pittsburgh State track and field team continues the outdoor season this weekend, hosting the 13th annual Gorilla Classic. But ahead of that event, a few gorillas are racking up awards and honors for what they did last weekend in Bolivar. Jacob Leonard reports.
The awards are flowing in this week for Pitt State track and field.
If I can keep PRing, that'd be great.
Erie High School product Brett Thompson set a PR in the javelin for the third straight meet last weekend. Thompson posted a mark of 242 feet 4 inches, the best in Division II this season and the 7th best all-time mark in Division II. The senior earned MIAA recognition and was the National Men's Track and Field Athlete of the Week.
I got MIAA and I was like, wow, that's awesome. Something I've been wanting for a couple of years now. And then coach sent me that sometime that morning, telling me I won the National Athlete of the Week. I was like, that's awesome. So I'm just happy to keep accomplishing things, really.
Trace Mosby is the MIAA Women's Track and Field Athlete of the Week.
It's hard to accept it because there's so many people who put in work every single week.
Mosby won the heptathlon at SBU, posting a career best 5,477 points. It's the top total in the nation this season, in her first outdoor heptathlon in more than a year.
I was really excited to get back and do it. I did not expect it to go so well. It was good to know that the hard work has continued and paid off.
On top of that, Mosby and Lamar product Trey Mooney have been named finalists for the MIAA Women's and Men's Winter Athletes of the Year.
Knowing that I'm chosen to be like top 5 in student athlete, I think means more to me than actually just get an athletic award, just because it's more to me than just athletics.
It does feel good on the inside to know that some people see it and that I'm honored enough to make it to this level. I don't tend to shine a light on myself, so it's cool.
While they're all excited for the individual recognition, the three have their eyes on the team's goal of winning a conference championship next month.
Track is an individual sport. You want to do your best, but we all are a team when it comes to conference.
Not really concerned about awards individually, just want to win as a team, and we got a pretty good team, so just keep getting better each week.
If anyone has ever experienced a conference, it's life-changing. And anyone on this team who's experienced a conference, they can say that was the best memory of my career as a track and field athlete at Pitt State.
Go Gorillas. Pitt State hosts the 32nd annual Jock Snitch High School Relays today before hosting the Gorilla Classic on Saturday. It's going to be a busy time. We'll be right back. The wait for coronavirus vaccines can feel agonizingly long, but no matter how desperate you are to get your shot, don't try buying one online. As Anna Stewart explains, criminals are active during times of crisis.
Available now. Satisfaction 100% guaranteed. Adverts claiming to sell authentic COVID-19 vaccines found on the dark web.
We can see there we're more than 3 times more vaccines that were on offer in 3 months. So it's constantly going up.
Cybersecurity firm Check Point has been investigating COVID-related ads on the dark web for months.
So initially it was the medicines, how to treat it, then we found the vaccines, and then more and more. This then snowballed on. And what we then found later on was, as they became more interested in society starting to unlock and move forward, we then found more interest in being able to buy negative tests. And also now with the vaccines rolling out, we're finding vaccine passports as well.
So this was the marketplace that you initially found. Well, we're seeing Moderna, Pfizer.
The latest one we have here is the single dose from Johnson and Johnson. We can see there that's just an example of an advert.
Checkpoint tried to buy a Sinovac vaccine on the dark web back in January for $750 worth of Bitcoin. Nothing ever arrived.
We don't have any evidence that anyone's bought successfully and got a vaccine and had it delivered.
These products aren't just appearing online. Interpol issued a global alert last year, warning that organised crime networks would take advantage of the pandemic.
Criminals are using any opportunity. We have these fake certificates concerning a COVID-19 vaccination or test. We have even been seen in some parts of the world that the criminals are getting physically close to the borders, and they offer these kind of services, providing people who desperately like to cross a border, for instance, to see their relatives, providing them at the border with a fake certificate concerning a negative test result or even a vaccination.
Last month, a fake vaccine distribution ring operating across 2 continents was dismantled.
That led to more than 80 arrests in both countries, and all these thousands of doses of fake vaccines could be taken away from the market before they again put harm to people.
Both Interpol and Checkpoint stress you cannot legitimately buy a COVID-19 vaccine online. You may never receive a vial, and if you do, you don't know what's in it.
If something looks too good to be true, then it probably is. This is what's preyed on, this feeling, this desperation is the reason why this exists. But my advice 100% would be, it's not going to happen.
We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. It's time for What the Tech. It's the place to be somewhere out of this world, the International Space Station. And that's where this rocket is headed. Check it out.
Its engines at maximum thrust.
And liftoff. Soyuz MS-18 on its way to the International Space Station.
Early this morning, a couple folks from the Russian space agency Roscosmos and one of our own astronauts from NASA launched into space. It's a speedy trip to the space station with 2 orbits of Earth and about 3 hours of travel time. Nice. Their arrival will bring the total number of crew members on the station to 10 people. They'll be working on multiple experiments, including studies about Alzheimer's disease and portable ultrasound devices. It's a packed house up there. Well, a school in Las Vegas is helping to test out a new non-invasive device that can help to detect a possible COVID infection. Drew Andre gives us the details.
Strap up and push a button, and in just minutes, this device can indicate a possible positive COVID case. It's now the new normal at the Meadows School in Summerlin.
I was really attracted to it
because it was non-invasive, because it could add another layer of security to our campus.
Once strapped on your arm, the non-invasive COVID pre-testing device works like a normal pulse oximeter that's placed on your finger. The Meadows School started testing out the product last summer after the Florida-based company Tiger Tech Solutions approached them to be the pilot.
We tested over 4,000 individual tests and had less than 1% positive, but every one of those positives was actually accurate according to a PCR test later on.
Meadows has 8 of the devices, and the rollout's been slow because there's still a limited number. But this week, the pre-screening monitor is officially FDA approved, which should quickly increase how much it's used.
This is a game changer for schools across the world. If we can get these devices in the hands of more and more schools, more and more children will be able to go to school in person, which is something we really believe in.
Every student that's tested daily has had parent approval. But Gregerson says parents and students have preferred it over invasive nasal swab tests every day.
We're hoping to expand the number of devices that we have on campus. It is not in mass production yet. That's one thing, so we'd like to be able to provide that to more numbers of our students. But also, I'm already in contact with some other schools in the city to help provide them with the degree of security that we have, because like I said, we really believe in getting kids back in school as safely as possible.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. In the 4th mass shooting in the U.S. in just 3 weeks, 1 person was killed and several injured in Bryan, Texas. The gunman opened fire at a cabinet manufacturing company. The suspect, who police identified as 27-year-old Larry Bolin, was caught after an urgent manhunt. And there are new concerns about Johnson & Johnson's vaccine after 2 vaccination sites, one in North Carolina, the other in Colorado, were temporarily shut down due to adverse reactions to the shot. They included dizziness, nausea, and low blood pressure. A key witness at Derek Chauvin's murder trial said what was done to George Floyd would have killed a healthy person. The witness, a pulmonology expert, compared Floyd's struggle during his arrest to having a lung removed, saying he died from a low level of oxygen. The medical examiner is set to take the stand today. Let's check in with Michael with a final look at your forecast.
Roll it one more time. Outside of Television City, where we're off to a beautiful Friday start. 54 degrees is where we stand right now. Love to see that barometer on the rise, because that means a whole lot of blue sky coming out of the Skywatch storm tracker. But that barometer is going to flip on us by the time we get into the afternoon hours. That's when we see the thunderstorm activity begin to develop right along the Kansas-Oklahoma state line and the Missouri-Arkansas state line. So take advantage of the late morning and early afternoon, because it's going to be great. Then we've got this headed our way for tonight all the way into Saturday. Heavy rain, high wind, threat of hail as it lasts past midnight, turns into showers on Saturday. Much cooler on Saturday as well. Of note, the severe thunderstorm risk map puts portions of the 4 states in the elevated and low categories. So let's make sure we keep our eyes on the radar. All the latest on the Skywatch weather app, and Nick and Doug breaking it down for you at 5, 6, 9, and 10.
Well, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Guac, apparently. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and his tequila brand, Terramena, have launched Guac on the Rock. Their mission is to encourage people to support local restaurants. From May 1st through the 5th, Terramena will reimburse diners for their guacamole purchase, which we all know, guac is extra. Yes, we know. The guacamole must be purchased with the Terramena cocktail to qualify. All right, save your receipts.
I want to thank you all for letting us put the good in your morning. We will be back with more news and weather when we see you again.
Have a great morning and an even better day.